We have an epidemic in culture and society right now where people are going out there and trying to cancel everyone that they disagree with. One of the successful cancellations out there was Gina Carano. They got her removed, obviously, from Star Wars, but she has continued to make a little coin along the way and continue to make appearances at comic conventions. But if Pop Culture Classroom, a charity, has their way, she will not be present at Fan Expo in Denver, Colorado. And here to talk with me about this is my good friend Aaron Sparrow, writer of Season 4 on Young Justice, comic book editor, the man behind Merc Magazine now.
Yeah, just announced yesterday. Creative director for Merc Publishing. Joe Corallo and I are both working over there, and just kind of bringing their comics into a shared universe. Basically, my job is what Gail Simone's was supposed to be at Lion Forge. Only I actually read the books.
Oh, well, that helps. You get in there and get everything kind of sorted out. Congratulations on the position. Now let's talk about this. Is kind of a weird thing that happens. I talked yesterday about the weird, like, kind of hypocrisy that you find in Hollywood where there's rules for this group but not for this group. Recently we saw Will Smith go out there and essentially slap the piss out of Chris Rock on stage. He didn't even have to leave the building after he assaulted somebody. Ezra Miller has been arrested multiple times. We saw him on video choking a woman out, I believe, in Iceland. He hasn't even been fired yet. They're just taking a pause. Warner Brothers is with Ezra Miller, but Gina Carano goes out there and makes a few memes, most of which I think were completely misunderstood. I don't think what they got her for and what she was actually saying like were the same thing, because I kind of agree with what she had to say. And now apparently that's not enough, Aaron. It's not enough that you get the actor removed from Star Wars, probably a pretty lucrative paying gig. We've just got her cancel her from Life Forever, even though Will Smith can go out there and assault people on national TV and Ezra Miller can choke women out, and they're still invited to the table. But Gina Carano makes a joke.
No, she wasn't even making a joke. She was making a very benign and very true statement about how the Nazis were able to rise to power by people ignoring the othering of other people. So, and let me just correct something on Ezra Miller. He not only chokeslammed a woman in Iceland, but most recently he was apparently arrested for disorderly conduct at a nightclub, and then broke into somebody's hotel room allegedly and threatened them and said, "I'll bury you and your slut wife," and then apparently allegedly stole their wallet and their passport and a bunch of other crazy stuff. So and that just it's taking a pause. Now, I understand why Warner Brothers is taking the pause and not outright firing him, because they got a big movie coming up with him that they need it to make money. So, they're gonna take a pause. But I have a feeling that after that movie comes out, they're going to be out of the Ezra Miller business, which is a wise decision, as you discussed in your video. But yeah, this latest thing with Gina Carano, and these people want to cancel you. They not only want to get you fired off of whatever you're working on, they want you to never work again, never be able to make any money, and become penniless and homeless. And if you kill yourself, so much the better. That will make them happy, and they'll be filled with glee.
Yeah, it's strange. This is supposed to be a charity. It's called Pop Culture Classroom. It's interesting. I went to their website, just to see what they're all about. And, normally you have like a success stories section where they kind of go in there and talk about where your money goes and the things that they've done that have really helped out the community. There's not really a whole lot of that there. You can find out who's responsible for the charity itself, who runs it. You can certainly donate some money, and they definitely do heavily promote that they are associated with Fan Expo in Denver. Apparently that's the big event that they're associated with. But Pop Culture Classroom is an organization that claims to inspire a love of learning, increases literacy, celebrates diversity, and builds community through the tools of popular culture and the power of self-expression. But they are admitting that they have tried to get Gina Carano removed from the upcoming Fan Expo, which doesn't feel like they're trying to build a community or talk to other people through their self-expression. I guess you can only express things that the Pop Culture Classroom charity, which I don't think anyone knows who they are, but they're trying to get people canceled. It seems like,
it doesn't really jive with their message, does it?
No.
They're saying, we're about inclusion, and here they are actively trying to exclude somebody. The interesting thing about comic conventions, I don't know if you guys know this if you've never been, but there's a lot of different guests there, and they have different signing areas where you can go and you can meet these guests. And if you don't want to meet a certain guest, You don't have to. It's incredible. You don't have to get in their line. You don't have to go into their section. You don't have to see them. I mean, maybe you might see them going back to their hotel. And if that triggers you, I'm sorry. But, you don't have to interact with people that you don't want to interact with. It's not like Gina Carano is going to be getting up from her table and going through Artist's Alley and getting into arguments with people or intimidating people or trying to, put them in chokeholds and make them tap out. This whole thing about we're about safety and we're about this. It's ridiculous. She is a guest. She's going to be sitting at a table signing things, and she is going to put far more butts in the seats, as they say. She's going to move far more tickets. I guarantee you she's going to move far more tickets than Pop Culture Classroom will move for Denver Fan Expo if they were there for 20 years. They're not going to move as many tickets as Gina is in this one show.
Of course, they are absolutely going out there and virtue signaling, using the social medias to get people on their side. Even though I guarantee you a vast majority of people going to the convention that read comics, they have never heard of this charity. I've heard lots of charities, based in comic books and stuff like this. I've never heard of this one. But they said on Twitter, Pop Culture Classroom is committed to creating welcoming and inclusive spaces through our educational programs at Fan Expo Denver. Pop Culture Classroom was not consulted on the booking of Gina Carano. It opposes her involvement in the Fan Expo Denver event. Why would Fan Expo Denver ever consult with Pop Culture Classroom on the event? Did they pay for it? Are they responsible for booking the talent in the guest list who's there? Why would they ever be consulted for anyone that arrives and is there as an attraction for the attendees of the convention?
Yeah, it's like, who the hell are you? Why would anyone consult with you about anything? You're just another thing that's there at the con. Like, if I'm doing a panel at a con, nobody calls and asks me about the other panels. Should we do a panel on this? Should we do a panel on that? It's like, you're there for your specific thing, and that's it. It's come in, do your panel. Do a meet and greet if you want. Go back to your table and talk to people about whatever it is your little charity is about. And then and then just F off. Like, get out of here. You're not going to be consulted on it. There is this supreme arrogance that these people have, that there's this idea that they need to exist in a space where there's no one ever in that space that disagrees with them or has a different opinion or doesn't share their every thought of their hive mind. It's like the Borg. Except even the Borg, if when you beamed over, you were so insignificant to them that they just didn't even acknowledge you. But like, these people are insane. This is insanity.
I don't know. This weird need to virtue signal, out there on social media. It's seeping into everything. You always got to tell people, this is what we stand for. We're opposing this. It's like, why are you even involved in this? And why do you feel the need to tell everybody what you're about rather than show them what you're about?
Because that's hard. That requires work. A tweet you can get out there and you can get a bunch of attaboys from the pores that will swear that they're, well, I'm not going to the convention now. This is a hard pass for me. Thank you, Fan Expo Denver for, helping me make my decision of whether or not to go. You weren't going to go anyway. You don't live in Denver. You don't have the money to fly. You don't have the money for a ticket. You're just on Twitter all day because you don't have a job, and all you do is attack people on Twitter because that's all that you have. I'm sorry. It's like all these people that are saying like, well, I'm not going now. You weren't going anyway.
She was already on the guest list. This isn't new news.
No, and she's on the Chicago guest list too. And you know what? There'll be a lot of people that come out to see her, and more power to them. If you love Gina Carano and you liked her in Star Wars, and you liked her in what was she in Fast and the Furious, I think at one point, you like the stuff that she's done, you can go and see her. If you hate Gina Carano, you don't have to go see her. It's really simple.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I think Tom King is a bad writer, but Tom King's presence at a convention or some type of get together around comic books would never dissuade me from attending.
No, even when he's lying
for Tom King.
Even when he's lying about, things that he said to a person and having them thrown out because they weren't wearing a mask or whatever thing he's trying to virtue signal online, I still don't think he should be uninvited from the con unless he's like walking around physically assaulting people and smacking people around like Will Smith because he has anger control issues because he's unhappy in his relationship. I don't see why he should be uninvited. And if I don't like Tom King's writing, I don't have to get into his line. That's the beautiful thing. I can walk right past his table. But I'm not going to
try to get a picture with him just to do it because it'd be funny.
I'm also not trying to like take food out of his mouth, like
that's a he and DC thing. I obviously oppose what he's doing there, but he's, hey, go out there and do your thing. As long as people are willing to pay you the money, that's between you and them. They also said, we've expressed our opposition to the team at Fan Expo Denver, and Carano will not be participating in any of the Pop Culture Classroom's educational programs or activities during the event. Did you reach out to her? Had she agreed to it beforehand? Why would anyone have ever assumed that she was participating with a charity no one's ever heard of?
That's to their detriment, because if she was participating, they would actually get some butts in the seats. Nobody cares. It's like your charity, like what is it? Nobody's heard of it. You apparently just do work with this one expo, and now you're going to turn around and you're going to bite the hand that feeds you by trying to stir up a bunch of controversy and get people to attack the expo that you do your only thing at, apparently. And what? This is just, and for what? For Twitter clout, so that you get some attaboys from some people on the internet.
They're hoping maybe like Gail Simone will come over and take a picture at their table, and they can throw it up on their social media. And it'll get forwarded. Maybe it'll spread awareness.
Maybe, but Gail has. I mean, she has a lot of followers, but that follower count doesn't translate to awareness or to sales or to engagement.
Certainly didn't translate to YouTube success.
No, YouTube success, or like her Domino book, it was really low selling. So having a lot of people following you on Twitter for the free content that you provide there does not translate to them buying anything. And that's, again, another example of the problem with this is Twitter likes and shares and attaboys does not translate to money for your company or anything that's actually tangible besides that little dopamine hit of like, ooh, look, people like me. They really, really like me.
It'd be one thing if they could point out where Gina Carano had said something about their charity or their work or their intention, or be like, stay away from, Pop Culture Classroom. They're bad guys. But I don't think she knows who they are. I don't think she's ever addressed them particularly or said anything negative about them. Yet they're still attacking her just so they can get that internet clout, do that virtue signal, hopefully get a little bit of awareness for what they're doing. But
well, they're going to do the typical thing, which is, just a bunch of unfounded. She's a racist. She's a bigot. She's this. She's that. They're going to go with that usual method of attack. The problem for them is that you can only go to the well so many times. That worked a few years ago. It's becoming less and less effective now, because now when someone's accused of being those things, everybody kind of rolls their eyes and goes, oh, well, this is just Twitter being Twitter. So yeah, it's one of those things. They're just trying to get some notice, get some rub off of that, put out a statement. I try to imagine like living life where I like thought I had to put out a statement on everything. I would, oh my God, that would be pathetic. I would hang myself.
I want more official statements from Aaron Sparrow via Twitter.
Yeah, well, my official statements are
and all that stuff.
I'm gonna do some PowerPoint presentations. I'm gonna have flow charts. It'll be fantastic. Just everything. I'll just put out a statement of my position on everything. But it'll be the most. It'll be the most. My position on everything is that I'm a curmudgeon about most things. How about that?
I don't know. Cancel culture obviously has gotten well out of hand. I don't think this is going to make any difference. But hey, you can beat somebody up on national television. You can be arrested multiple times and just put on pause. But if you're Gina Carano and you send out a meme, well, it's time to start getting you removed from life. And I guess that's the weird, stance some people have taken, including Pop Culture Classroom. Don't think this will be effective because Fan Expo Denver would lose money by uninviting Gina Carano, and Pop Culture Classroom definitely relies more on Fan Expo than it goes the other way around,
Yeah, cutting Gina Carano would result in a lot of negative publicity. It actually would result in people canceling their tickets or not buying tickets. It would definitely go that direction. So, unfortunately, the Pop Culture Classroom decided to stab them in the back. This expo that's given them a forum and given them a platform to do whatever it is, whatever the hell it is that they do. And they've decided to kind of like spit in the face of that for some internet clout. It's really unfortunate. But as the saying goes, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for them.
As most of you know, I am very much against cancel culture. I had this conversation, I believe, a little bit over a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Really good conversation, really thoughtful. If you're against cancel culture or you want some more information on it, definitely check this out and definitely think about what cancel culture means in today's society.